What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today might just be the day the JDM EF2 gets an engine. Now, if you guys have been following the build series to this point, you guys probably heard me say that the engine I want in the car overall, when it's all said and done, is a mildly built B20 VTEC. Piston rod, mild cam setup, shooting for about 220 all motor on pump gas, but I don't have the recipe for the B20 VTEC just yet. And the engine that's actually going to be going to the car for right now, just to get the ball rolling, is my Junkyard B18C Type R. If you guys remember, I scored this B18C Type R from the Junkyard. It had a spun crank rod bearing situation, and I rebuilt this long block to 0 miles. And then, if you guys have been paying attention, this engine went into my red all-wheel drive CRX all motor, and we drove it for about 1,500 miles before the built motor was done. So I pulled it back out, and it's been on this engine stand for the last 5 years. 5 freaking years. Now I have just about everything to put it into the car, but the last piece I'm still waiting to show up is a clutch setup, which actually is on the truck right now and en route to be delivered sometimes today. So in today's video, we're going to be prepping this Type R engine and the transmission, and just kind of play the waiting game for when that clutch shows up to put it all together to get it hung into the car. I'm going to put you guys back here real quick because we're going to be digging out the B18C Type R, which has been sitting right here covered up. The grill for the JDM EF2, I actually need to clean this up and put it back on the hood. Shout out to my buddy for dropping off a OEM Honda filter. We're going to be changing on the Type R as well. Shout out to Resto Tuners for the tail light gasket for the outside and the center. We're definitely going to be swapping this out as well too. The first thing we painted was the JDM T-bar for the core support. It has been sitting up here collecting dust, but soon we're going to be installing this back into the core support. This right here is the GSR transmission we're going to be using. Let's get this Type R outside so we can clean it up. Appreciate it. Thank you. Before you guys ask, the JDM EF2 is not going to be turboed. This is the turbo kit out of my cousin's DB1 Integra. If you guys don't remember, we did a piston rod setup in it. It was driven for a while and then it rod knocked. So he put a stock motor back in it, took the turbo kit off, sold the car because he also moved, and then gave me back the turbo kit because he didn't have any use for it. So it was just sitting here for right now, and hopefully soon we'll find a use for this turbo kit to kind of give it a second life at making some boost. So let's go ahead and pop all this off and get to cleaning this long block. Took some time to scrub down the post mount. Got it sprayed semi-gloss black, as well as part of the half shaft, just cause. Except that So the engine has been drying, looks really freaking good. And I took off the timing cover side because I had a post mount for the DCEG, and you need the DA for the EF. And also I want to kind of put everything in time to make sure my slack and everything is good. I mean, it feels fine, but just double checking everything to make sure everything is good. I already pulled all the tape, napkins off. I do need to put injectors on. And dude, it looks really clean back here. It really does. Super excited to plant this thing inside the car. So I did clean the alternator as well because it was a little dusty with cat hair. And honestly, I bought this brand new from Honda, right? It's a GSR, and I don't remember. I think something happened with this alternator on my red CRX. I don't know if I fried it or it wasn't charging, so I took it out, or if it was charging because the battery was in the trunk on the red CRX and I didn't have enough ground, so I was only doing like 13.1, 13.2 at the post in the back of the trunk. But I fixed it by putting a bunch of ground probably after I pull this alternator off. I'm not sure. I don't know if it works. I do probably want to go get it tested, but I'm probably going to throw it in the car just to see if it works, because if it doesn't work, the car is right-hand drive, so the alternator can kind of just pop out right here because the brake booster master is not in the way. EF owners, you guys know. So I cleaned that. I cleaned the crank pulley. I cleaned the timing cover. Good old Junkyard stamp on there. I just noticed on the block as well too, from the Junkyard. That's right. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna clean the engine bay just a little bit, or at least all the areas that I can't reach once the engine's in place. You can see how dusty everything is. And I mean, by the looks of it, everything that needs to be in place is in place, aside from the rear motor mount, which I'll do. But I want to clean that and also get all the hardware and everything for the transmission to go onto the long block with the clutch and flywheel. And I just remembered, how am I going to get that engine off the stand? We'll figure it out. This right here, the blue dream, guys, the blue dream. There are two sets of bolt holes on the subframe, and looking at it from the engine bay side for B series, you want to be on the right and single cam on the left. There we go. Right there. Put that right there. If you guys have been watching the channel, you guys probably recognize this box. Shout out to my buddy Brian. He gave this to me a long time ago, and I knew one day eventually I'm gonna need this piece. Inside this box should be a bag of hardware from Hasport. Yes sir. The rear subframe are 14 mil thread pitch, so it's gonna be this one here and this one here, though there is 3 of them. And we need some washers to go with that. There we go. These are what, 18? All right. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I spent more time looking for freaking hardware. I knew I had alternator hardware. If you guys don't know, the alternator on the bottom has a 14 mil threaded bolt with a flat square thing in the back of it, right? It goes right here. And I had it on the table. Now it's not on the table. So I went through all of my 14 mil boxes and I can't find that freaking hardware. And I thought it was in the box that I was gonna send out to get zinc coated. All of these right here, it's not in there. and I don't want to just put a random 14 mil bolt in it, so I went to go check my rebuilt B20. If you guys also remember, I rebuilt this B20 0 miles. We threw it in my green CRX, had it idle for like 10 minutes, pulled the motor out. It's been sitting right here, and I looked straight through with the flashlight. This thing has an alternator on it, so looks like I'm gonna pull everything out just so I can use the hardware, possibly the alternator as well too. Now I don't have the bolts for the header to the cylinder head, right? But I do have REDZONERACE kit. It does have the studs for intake and the exhaust side right there. Beautiful piece. And the nuts right there, flange nuts. I'm gonna go ahead and just install these. DHL just dropped off another package for me, and I'll show you guys this at the end of the video. A nice product from Max Peeling Rods. Guys, it's not stupid if it works. My buddy left his bolt bin behind since he sold his Honda, and I was going through it. Clutch and flywheel bolts, B series flywheel bolts. We have hardware. If you guys remember last year, we changed the friction disc on a Fidanza flywheel, and we have it packed up right here. Aluminum flywheel. I believe this is like a 7 or 8 pound, and this is like super throwback, man. Back in the days when I was all motor, I always used a Fidanza flywheel before, you know, knowing about action or comp clutches and stuff like that. And we're gonna be using this right here. Definitely gonna be flying through the RPM with this Lighten flywheel. Ah, here's my T bracket I was looking for. Huh. 14 mil bolts. Starter. This is my GSR LSD transmission from my front wheel drive days, and I still have my competition twin disc clutch that's sitting on here. Look at this beauty. One day I'll use this again. We're gonna be needing this right here, 19 or 22. There we go. Now I'm gonna need one of this to replace that one. I'll be honest with you guys, I swapped the Type R into the EF2 like 45 minutes ago, and I stood in front of the car for a cool minute just soaking it all in. And I was over here kind of just cleaning all the mess that I made when we were accessing the GSR trans right here. I just can't help to look down the aisle and see the EF2 about to come to life. So trash day is tomorrow, and I was cutting down a bunch of boxes and such, and I've already got all my tools and everything cleaned up outside because we're just about done for tonight. And I just want to give you guys a look real quick with the engine in the car, man. I was over here earlier just kind of like, you know, looking at everything and all the stuff that's to come. I did throw the power steering pump back on to get an idea, and the line seems like it's a perfect length. Doesn't stick up too high whatsoever, and the bracket almost lines up. You know, if I turn it a little bit, it will line up, it will bolt up, and this right here is going to work. The only concern is the power steering pump pulley is kind of hitting the power steering like line right there at the bottom, and I still need to swap this over to a 4-rib to match the crank pulley. So I was just kind of sitting over here looking at everything, like, you know, gotta write down a list tomorrow of all the little things we need to do. Map sensor, vacuum line, return line, feed line right here, throttle cable bracket, bunch of small little stuff. I'm just like, you know, soaking this all in, man. You guys soak this in with me. If you guys been following this journey, dude, it's gonna turn on soon. I have less than 2 weeks to get this car ready and drive it almost 8 hours down to SoCal for the Honda meet on March 22nd. So the engine is obviously in place, but not fully in place. Show you guys. Reason being is because the T bracket, I already put it in the car, and it has all the hardware to the rear mount back here. It has the hardware to the block right here, but the transmission for the 94 Plus uses 19mm bolts that goes from the T bracket on the bottom to the trans. The DAs use 17, so I don't have any 19mm bolts to use for the bottom because they need to be shorties. The 19s that I have are really long, right? And I need it to be like this, right? And what I was going to do, what I usually do, is take a 19mm bolt and thread it all the way up, cut it, and then weld it on the top to use this section here. Obviously a lot shorter than this guy, but I don't have any 19mm bolts. This one is all messed up, and I don't want to do weld it crooked. So I need to go find some hardware to like really mount the engine in place. But dude, progress is better than no progress. The B18C Type R, that Junkyard engine, is finally in the EF2. All I wanted to do in today's video was just to put the engine in the car, and we did just that. And I did tell you guys that we got a package from Max Heating Rod. They literally, like, right here, I'm gonna open it with you guys real quick because I only got 4 minutes left on the GoPro. So let me set you guys up. I was watching the homie Driven Film Photography, and I seen him use this item in his transmission on his F2B series turbo EK sedan, and I looked on Max Heating Rod website and they had one for a K series. So I wanted to try it out because I got transmission I can play around with, and I kind of want to build a transmission on standby in case we don't have an all-wheel drive transmission for the silver car. So Max Heating Rod, I didn't know until I checked their website, they have an LSD for the K series, and this is front-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive. I'm going to put it in a 5-speed transmission, and this is crazy to me because when I compared this to what the other market has, this is it's kind of crazy to say it's near identical to one of the top name brands out there. So yeah, anyways, this is just a quick look on the Max Heating Rod K series LSD. They also have one for the B series, guys. So it did come with bearings. Not entirely sure why these aren't in boxes, but I'm not going to use this. I am going to use OEM bearings, but we're going to dive into this on a later time when the EF2 is all done and out of the way. We're going to try to fit this up in a 5-speed RSX transmission. But we're gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. Man, what a progress we did on the EF2 today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, man. If y'all did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for more progress update on the EF2, because we're gonna dive into it. We're gonna write everything down and we're just gonna dive into it. So if you guys want to see some more videos on the EF2, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.